watching Nile Cruise. And we are delighted to be joined today with Dr. Khaled Mohamed. He's the director of the Egyptian University's Libraries Consortium. I'd like to thank you very much for joining us, sir.
It's my pleasure also to be with you today.
Now, as an introduction, the Egyptian University's Library is the first library consortium of academic and research libraries in Egypt. Currently, it includes 15 public academic universities in Egypt, which means it serves about 75% of researchers and scientists in Egypt. It is funded by Egyptian universities under the Supreme Council of Universities and the ICTP project, which is the Information and Communication Projects in Higher Education. The EUL project constitutes of two main components: establishing a consortium of e-resources and establishing a union catalog for Egyptian universities' libraries.
Well, Dr. Khaled, we can start off by just asking you, in the digital arena aspect, many experts tackle a digital divide. What is meant by that phrase, and what are the reasons that in Egypt you have inequality in terms of access to the use of technology and the use of knowledge of information?
Yeah. Actually, digital divide is providing access to digital resources, and as we all know that the world is going now to digital.
Yeah.
We all have digital devices to access content and resources through the internet and to communicate to each other. The mobile devices now is providing access to everything available in the digital domain or the digital environment.
Yes.
So the digital divide means that you have resources, and these resources you cannot access them through the environment which should be accessed through. So you have resources in digital form and you don't have the device to access these resources. And you have resources should be available in digital form, and you didn't digitize them or convert them to the digital form. So it includes both the devices. The devices should be ready and available to provide access to the digital resources, and include also the resources which should be digitized to facilitate people's life, to make people access these resources, because you are responsible to provide access to these resources to people. So we are working in an academic environment. In the academic environment, we have a student and we have faculty member. We teach a student and we create research through the faculty member. We teach a student knowledge, skills, and innovation as well. So we have to prepare our student to own the digital knowledge and also the skills to deal with the digital resources, and also innovate in this environment, to build new devices, to build resources in digital forms, to build new softwares for digital sources. So if you prepare your students and faculty member to handle with all of these resources, you will cross or eliminate this digital gap.
How far have we reached to digital divide in Egypt so far?
Actually, we all know that we are not very far away, but we are far away. We're working in closing this gap by providing access to digital resources and providing devices to allow people to have access to these resources. So the digital library project is one of the methods to close this gap. Because if you have resources available now, the books and journals are available in digital form, and it should be in a unified library, and you should have the tools to facilitate access to these resources through search engine and through organized technique. This means you facilitate student life and researcher life, and this would help them to create research and also innovate. So you provide access, first of all, to facilitate building and also innovation, research and innovation.
Part of the challenges when it comes to the digital content is definitely, like you mentioned, digitizing certain amounts of content, usually in libraries, maybe in museums, and so on and so forth. How is the progress done in Egypt so far when it comes to digitizing this rich and valuable resources?
Actually, we have a lot of projects in Egypt working in that domain, and I can speak about the Egyptian universities. We are working since 2005 in digitizing the most important research outcome from the research perspective, which is thesis and dissertation. And we have a very huge project in digitizing this thesis and dissertation and providing access to this thesis and to these resources, because this is the first step toward building a researcher. He has to get master or PhD, and he has to work in a new idea. How is he going to know that this is a new idea without knowing all the research which has been done in all over the country? So
to build over an existing idea who someone has really did a great job at.
That's true. He has to, because the research is like a chain. You put a cycle in the chain, and somebody else come after and trying to put on a new cycle, and somebody else trying to put a new cycle. So he has to know what has been done in this area. What we are doing is to facilitate access to these resources, because if you can imagine somebody living in Aswan or South Valley or somewhere in the south, he spent like one whole day to come to Cairo to find a thesis or dissertation. Now it is available under his fingerprint, and he can look over it and build upon.
Where does it reside today? Where does this amount of resources reside?
It is available in local servers in the Supreme Council of Universities, and it is available through the Egyptian Universities network.
So we actually have digital libraries currently?
Actually, we have two digital libraries. Yeah, we have two digital libraries, one for the local resources and one for the international resources.
So can you tell us where each one is?
In the Supreme Council of Universities.
Oh, okay. You have one digital library there.
We have one digital library, one unified digital library for the international resources, providing access to more than 22,000 journals and 18,000 international books, serving the educational and research purpose. And we have also almost 125,000 thesis and dissertation digitized already and available. And we're working on closing the gap, because we have almost 500,000 thesis and dissertation rewarded by Egyptian universities. Now we have almost 25% of this thesis and dissertation available in digital form. So we have 75 of these thesis and dissertation should be digitized. This means a gap.
Yes.
We have 75% gap. We have to have all of them available to facilitate research purpose, so you can know what has been done before to build upon it.
Yes.
Well, Dr. Khaled, as I know you're director of the Egyptian University's Libraries Consortium, why was there a consortium established, and what are the objectives of that consortium?
First of all, working in library domains is based on cooperation and coordination among the institutions, because we all in a country like Egypt, we have lack of resources in financial means, and we cannot spend all our financial resources in publication and repeating the resources among the inside universities and outside of the universities. So the consortium is a method